Karen threw a massive wedding on my ranch while I was out of town on business. The sun was dipping low over my Wyoming ranch when I pulled up the dirt road, expecting the quiet hum of my land after a grueling business trip in Denver. Instead, I was met with chaos. White tents sprawled across my fields, fairy lights strung from my barn, and 100 strangers milling about in tuxedos and dresses. A wedding. A full-blown, extravagant wedding, right on my property. My heart pounded as I stepped out of my truck, the crunch of gravel under my boots drowned out by a live band's rendition of some pop song. Who the hell was responsible for this? I stormed toward the epicenter, where a woman in a glittering wedding gown held court like a queen. Karen, my neighbor of 3 years, the kind of person who'd complain about my cattle grazing too close to her fence but never missed a chance to borrow my tractor. She spotted me and froze, her champagne flute trembling in her hand. "Oh, Tom, you're back early?" she stammered, her smile faltering. "Early," I growled, my voice low but shaking with fury. "This is my land, Karen. What the hell are you doing?" Her groom, a wiry guy named Greg, stepped forward, hands raised like he was calming a spooked horse. "Now hold on, Tom. Karen said you gave her permission to use the ranch for our wedding. Said you were fine with it." I blinked, my blood boiling. "Permission? I've been in Denver for a week. Nobody called me." The crowd around us hushed, sensing the storm brewing. Karen's face twisted, a mix of defiance and panic. "You were gone, Tom. I figured it was no big deal. Your place is perfect for this look at the views. I was doing you a favor, giving your ranch some exposure." "Exposure?" I laughed, bitter and sharp. "You trespassed, Karen. You turned my home into your personal circus without so much as a text." The wedding planner, a young woman named Ellie, hovered nearby, clutching her clipboard like a shield. Her eyes darted between us, wide with dread. I thought you'd approved this, Mr. Hargrove," she whispered. Karen showed me a signed agreement. "A what?" I snapped, turning to Karen. She avoided my gaze, fussing with her veil. That's when I noticed a man in the crowd, lingering near the bar, watching us with an odd intensity. He was older, maybe 60, in a mismatched suit that didn't quite fit the wedding's glitz. Something about him felt off, but I was too furious to dwell on it. "Show me this agreement," I demanded. Karen hesitated, then pulled a crumpled paper from her purse. I snatched it, scanning the page. My signature was there, clear as day, but I'd never signed it. "This is forged," I said, my voice ice cold. The crowd gasped, and Greg's face paled. "Karen, you forged my name?" She opened her mouth to protest, but the words died as Ellie stepped forward, her hands shaking. I saw her do it," Ellie blurted. "She told me it was just a formality, that you'd agreed verbally." "I didn't know." The confession hit like a thunderclap. Karen's eyes flashed with betrayal, but Ellie pressed on. "She paid me extra to keep quiet." "I'm so sorry, Mr. Hargrove." The older man by the bar stepped forward now, his presence cutting through the tension like a blade. "Enough," he said, his voice gravelly but firm. Heads turned. He pulled a badge from his pocket. "Sheriff Daniels, a friend of my late father's." "I was invited as a guest," he said, "but I've been watching this unfold. Karen, you've got some explaining to do." Karen's bravado crumbled. "It's just a wedding," she cried. "I didn't hurt anyone. Tom's never here anyway." But the crowd was turning, whispers of trespassing and forgery rippling through the guests. Greg looked at her like he was seeing her for the first time, his face a mix of shock and disgust. "You lied to me," he said quietly. "This was supposed to be our day." The sheriff took Karen's arm, guiding her away as she protested, her gown trailing in the dirt. The band stopped playing, and the guests dispersed, leaving the tents and lights like ghosts of a celebration that never should have been. I stood there, staring at my violated land, feeling a hollow ache. Ellie approached, tears in her eyes. "I'll help clean this up," she said. "I should have checked with you directly. I just needed the job." I nodded, too drained to argue. Sheriff Daniels tipped his hat to me before leading Karen to his cruiser. Greg sat alone by the bar, head in his hands, his dream wedding shattered. My ranch, my sanctuary, had been turned into a stage for someone else's drama. The betrayal stung, but what hurt more was the realization that Karen, for all her flaws, was desperate for something validation, attention, maybe even love, and she'd destroyed everything to get it. As the last guests left, I walked to the edge of my field, the stars emerging above. The land was still mine, but it felt tainted, like a memory you can't unsee. Ellie stayed late, helping dismantle the tents, her quiet apology a small comfort. Sheriff Daniels promised to handle the legal fallout, but I knew nothing would erase the violation. In the end, Karen's wedding wasn't just a trespass, it was a mirror, reflecting the lengths people go to for their own desires, heedless of who they hurt. I looked out at my ranch, wondering if trust could ever grow back here, like grass after a fire. What would you do if someone betrayed your trust like this? Share your thoughts on justice, community, or the cost of ambition.